Cozy games on the Switch just hit differently. Something about handheld mode, a blanket, and a good soundtrack makes everything better. No stress, no rage quitting, just good games that feel like a warm drink on a cold day. Let's get into it. Fae Farm drops you onto Azoria, a magical island that's basically crying out for someone to fix it up. You're a newcomer who gets swept in by a storm, and from there, it's on you to farm, craft, build relationships, and slowly unravel the mystery behind a strange curse messing with the island. The farming loop feels satisfying. You prep soil, plant seeds, water crops, harvest, and reinvest into upgrades. But it goes deeper than that. You're also spelunking in dungeons, catching critters, brewing potions, and decorating your homestead however you like. The floaty movement system lets you hop across gaps and glide, which makes exploration feel light and fun. The multiplayer co-op is a big deal here too. Up to 4 players can share the same farm, which is rare in this genre. The art style is soft pastels all the way, and everything about the game's pace tells you to slow down and enjoy it. Winter Burrow is a tiny game with a massive heart. You play as a small mouse named Aspen who gets separated from family during a brutal snowstorm and has to survive the harsh winter alone. The survival mechanics are gentle. You gather food, craft tools, find shelter, and manage warmth. But the game wraps all of that in this incredibly quiet, emotional atmosphere. Every area you explore feels handcrafted, like someone illustrated a children's book and then let you walk through it. The pixel art is stunning in a muted, wintry way. You'll meet other animals along the road, and those small interactions carry a lot of weight. There's no combat, no pressure, just this steady push to keep going through the cold. The sound design is phenomenal too. Wind, snow crunch, fire crackling, it pulls you right in. PowerWash Simulator is legitimately therapeutic. You're given a dirty environment, a pressure washer, and a job to do. That's it. No story pushing you anywhere, no complex mechanics to master, you just clean. Patios, vehicles, playgrounds, entire houses, all caked in grime, and your job is to blast every single spot until the percentage hits 100. The satisfaction of watching dirt disappear under a jet of water never gets old. The game gives you different nozzles and cleaning solutions that work better on certain surfaces, so there's a small layer of strategy underneath the meditative surface. It runs in co-op too, which somehow makes the whole thing even more fun, just you and a friend silently cleaning a fire truck together. Special editions on Switch include some wild-themed missions. There's something deeply satisfying about a game with 0 fail states where you always make progress. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined delivers a calm, methodical RPG experience built around exploration and restoration rather than urgency. You play as a young hero, uncovering ancient tablet fragments that transport you to the past, where each island tells its own self-contained story. The structure feels almost episodic, letting you settle into small narratives before seeing their impact on the present world. Gameplay follows a steady loop of exploration, puzzle solving, and traditional turn-based combat that stays simple but strategic, especially through the flexible vocation system. Characters can switch classes, learn abilities over time, and even combine roles, adding depth without overwhelming complexity. The remake smooths out pacing with faster battles, visible enemies, and helpful quality-of-life upgrades, making progression feel more fluid. Locomoto is a chill puzzle game about running a train line across a hand-drawn world. You lay down tracks, connect towns, manage resources, and try to build the most efficient rail network you can. Each level gives you a map with different terrain challenges, mountains, rivers, budget limits, and you have to figure out the smartest route. The puzzle difficulty ramps up naturally, never spiking into frustration. The art style is soft and warm, like someone drew it in a sketchbook with colored pencils. There's no timer breathing down your neck, so you can sit back and plan routes at your own pace. The sound design matches the vibe perfectly. Gentle ambient music, the chug of trains on rails. What I really appreciate about Locomoto is how it rewards creative thinking. There's usually more than one way to solve a map, and finding a clever path feels genuinely good. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, is the latest entry in the long-running Rune Factory series, and it takes a fresh direction by setting everything in a world inspired by Japanese folklore and aesthetics. You play as a guardian, protecting your village from chaos spreading across the land. There's farming, relationship building, and dungeon crawling. The series' DNA is intact. But Guardians of Azuma adds a more community-focused layer, where you're developing your village alongside a big cast of characters. Combat is action-based and feels snappy, with different weapon types that play very differently from each other. The seasonal system affects your crops and the world around you, which adds a real sense of time passing. The character writing is charming and warm. People feel alive, not just quest dispensers. You can get married, raise a family, and build something that genuinely feels like yours.
The sacred tree's roots probably reach every corner of this village. We've got to help it out by reviving the earth first.
Discounty is a cozy shop management game where you run a small grocery store and slowly grow it into something the whole town relies on. You stock shelves, manage inventory, set prices, handle deliveries, and deal with the daily rhythm of running a business. It sounds mundane, but the game wraps it in this warm, small-town charm that makes everything feel meaningful. The townspeople are characters. They have preferences, budgets, and personalities, and paying attention to what they need actually matters for your store's success. You unlock new product categories, upgrade your shop layout, and hire staff as you grow. The progression feels natural, never overwhelming. Visually, it's clean and bright, with a simple art style that keeps things readable and pleasant. Discounty doesn't try to be more than it is, and that's exactly why it works. Cat Café Manager puts you in charge of, you guessed it, a cat cafe. You inherit a rundown spot from your grandmother and set about turning it into a thriving hangout for both cats and customers. The management loop involves hiring staff, decorating the space, cooking recipes, and rescuing stray cats from around town to bring into the cafe. Each cat has its own personality and traits, and matching the right cats to the right customers actually affects satisfaction. The townspeople who visit all have backstories and needs, and building relationships with regulars is one of the game's best parts. It never gets overwhelming. The pace is deliberately calm, and you always feel in control. The art style is adorable without being sickeningly sweet, and the cafe customization options give you real creative freedom. There's a light story running underneath everything about community, belonging, and finding your place. Coffee Talk is less of a traditional game and more of an interactive story told through the window of a late-night coffee shop in a fantasy version of Seattle. You play as the barista, and your job is to listen to the people who come in and make them the right drinks. The customers are a wildly diverse cast: elves, orcs, mermaids, werewolves, all carrying real human problems: loneliness, career pressure, relationship struggles, identity. The drink-making mechanic is simple but tactile. You combine ingredients in the right order to brew specific recipes, and the drink you serve can shift how a conversation goes. The pixel art is gorgeous, all neon-lit rain and late-night warmth. The soundtrack is lo-fi and perfect. Coffee Talk doesn't rush you. It's a slow, reflective experience meant to be savored. The writing is the star here, consistently thoughtful and emotionally honest. Strange Antiquities is doing something genuinely original. You run a small antique shop, dealing in peculiar, otherworldly items. Cursed objects, enchanted trinkets, things with histories you slowly piece together. The gameplay mixes shop management with investigation. Customers bring items in, and you have to research them, authenticate them, decide what to price them at, or whether to sell them at all. Some items carry consequences. The mystery layer deepens as you start noticing patterns between the objects passing through your shop and something strange happening in your town. The writing is sharp, in layered dark places, but never heavy-handed. The art direction leans into this dusty, cluttered antique aesthetic that feels completely its own. Every item has lore, and reading through it feels like discovery rather than obligation. Yoshi's Crafted World is a platformer built entirely out of cardboard, yarn, fabric, and everyday craft supplies. And that's not just an art choice, it's the whole personality of the game. You guide Yoshi through levels that look like someone built a diorama and then animated it, flipping perspectives and finding hidden collectibles tucked behind the scenery. The gameplay is gentle and accessible. You throw eggs to hit enemies and reveal secrets, jump across platforms, and explore at your own pace. Each world has a distinct theme, and the creativity in how the levels are constructed never gets old. There's a flip side mechanic where you replay levels from the back, which completely changes how a stage looks and what you can find. Co-op is built in for 2 players, and it works really well for casual sessions. Little Kitty Big City is exactly what it sounds like. You're a cat, you're in a city, and you need to find your way back home after tumbling off a balcony. The open world is a dense urban neighborhood full of humans going about their day, other animals with their own little problems, and all kinds of objects just waiting to be knocked off surfaces. The movement feels authentically cat-like. You can squeeze through gaps, climb fire escapes, nap anywhere to skip time, and wear hats you find scattered around the city. The collectible hats alone are worth the price. Side quests come from the animals you meet, and they're charming without being long-winded. There's no pressure, no timer, no threat. Just a curious cat navigating a big world in small, satisfying steps. The writing has this dry, deadpan humor that lands really well. Spiritfarer puts you in the role of Stella, a fairy master who guides the souls of the dead to the afterlife. That sounds heavy, and honestly, it is, but in the most beautiful way. You sail an ever-growing boat across a hand-drawn ocean, building homes for your spirit passengers, cooking their favorite meals, farming, fishing, and keeping them company until they're ready to move on. Each character you meet has a fully realized personality and backstory, and spending time with them before they leave genuinely creates attachment. The gameplay layers in smoothly. You're managing your boat's layout, gathering resources, learning new abilities that open up the world. The platforming around your boat and in the various islands feels fluid and fun. There's a co-op mode where a second player joins as Stella's cat, which is a sweet touch.
Hey!
Octopath Traveler 0 offers a more focused and grounded take on the series, blending its signature style with a stronger central narrative. You begin with a custom protagonist whose hometown is destroyed, setting up a journey driven by rebuilding and purpose rather than pure adventure. Instead of separate character stories, the game follows a unified path while still letting you recruit a wide cast, each bringing unique skills and flexibility to your party. Combat keeps the classic break and boost system, encouraging you to study enemy weaknesses and plan turns carefully, while the addition of front and back row positioning adds another layer of strategy. One of the standout elements is the town building system, where you gradually restore your village, unlocking features and giving a real sense of progress.
My turn. Hot mic ready. No, here goes nothing.
Melody of Moominvalley is a quiet, wandering adventure based on the beloved Moomin world. You play as Snufkin, returning to Moominvalley after a long winter away, only to find the place overrun by a park warden who's taken over and placed signs and rules everywhere, completely against the free spirit of the valley. Your job is to liberate the land by using music. You learn songs that interact with the world, calling animals, moving objects, convincing creatures to help you. It's a puzzle adventure at heart, but paced like a gentle walk in the woods. The art style is hand-drawn and soft, staying faithful to the original Moomin illustrations. Every character you encounter feels pulled straight from the books and show. The music is deeply atmospheric, and the sound design treats silence as intentionally as the score. Animal Well is a Metroidvania that operates almost entirely in silence, atmosphere, and mystery. You're a small creature waking up inside a strange, dark, underground world, filled with animals, some harmless, some deeply unsettling. The game gives you zero hand-holding. No map markers, no quest text, no explanations. You explore, find items, and figure out what they do through experimentation. The items themselves are creative and unusual. A bubble wand, a flute, a yo-yo, and discovering how they interact with the environment is the core loop. The pixel art is incredibly detailed, with bioluminescent colors glowing out of thick darkness. Every room feels deliberate, like it was designed to be looked at and thought about. The secrets go extremely deep. There are layers of hidden content that the community is still unraveling. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is a remake of a fan-favorite DS entry, rebuilt and expanded for modern hardware. You move to Zephyr Town, a place that used to thrive on its weekly bazaar market, but has fallen into quiet decline. Your job is to farm, craft, and bring the bazaar back to life by selling your goods every week and attracting more visitors to town. The farming loop is classic: tend crops, raise animals, manage seasons, upgrade your tools. But the bazaar system adds a weekly rhythm that gives the game a satisfying structure. You set up your stall, price your items, and interact with customers in real time during market day. Building relationships with townsfolk unlocks new items and story beats, and the marriage candidates are well written with actual personality. Windmills power various farm operations, which adds a layer of resource management that feels fresh in the genre.
How lovely.
Animal Crossing New Horizons put a deserted island in your hands, and basically said, do whatever you want with it. You start with a tent and 2 neighbors, and over time, you build up a full village, terraform the landscape, decorate every corner, and fill a museum with bugs, fish, fossils, and art. The real-time clock means the game runs on your actual schedule. Seasons change, events happen on real holidays, and villagers go about their day whether you're playing or not. That connection to real-time creates something most games don't have: a sense that this place actually exists somewhere. The social layer with villagers is endlessly charming. They have moods, opinions, catchphrases you give them, and if you play long enough, they feel like genuine neighbors. The crafting system lets you make furniture, tools, and clothing. New Horizons launched at the exact right moment in 2020 and became something beyond a game for a lot of people. A short hike is one of those games that does everything right and takes less than 2 hours to finish. You play as Claire, a bird visiting her aunt at a provincial park, waiting on an important phone call. To get signal, you need to reach the mountain summit, and the whole game is that hike. The island is open and free to explore at your own pace. You swim, climb, glide, chat with other hikers, fish off docks, and find little golden feathers that extend how long you can fly. That's it. That's the whole game. But the moment-to-moment feeling of moving through that world is so good that you don't want it to end. The pixel art has this warm, painterly texture that feels genuinely handcrafted. Every NPC you meet has a small story or a little side quest that takes 3 minutes and leaves you smiling. The writing is light, funny, and occasionally touching. Stardew Valley is the one. You inherit your grandfather's old farm, leave your soul-crushing office job behind, and start over in a small town called Pelican Town. From there, you farm, mine, fish, forage, build relationships, restore the community center, and shape what your life in this valley looks like. The farming loop is deeply satisfying, rotating crops by season, upgrading your tools, unlocking sprinklers, expanding your farm. The mine underneath town is a full dungeon crawler with over 100 floors, combat, and rare resources. The townspeople have full schedules, birthdays, backstories, and multi-stage relationships that reveal themselves slowly over hundreds of in-game days. You can get married, have kids, raise animals, and keep playing long after the main goals are done. What one person's Stardew looks like versus another's is completely different, and that's the genius of it. That's the list. Whether you want manage a shop or just vibe on a train puzzle, there's something here for every kind of cozy gamer. Drop your favorite in the comments. I'd love to know which one you're playing next. Subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.